got a Band-Aid on him.
Well, I'm gonna teeth.
I told her one time, don't get mad if I told you. She said, you had a crush on me when you were young. I said, I did, especially when I seen you sitting on the couch with no pants on. No pants on.
No pants
No
on.
pants on.
I didn't tell her the truth, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You didn't have no kids, did you?
did you get them saying that, Rick?
I didn't, did you?
The boy lives in that house down here, baby.
Yeah?
Once hired. And then I've got two with my first husband.
Well, I
One
didn't
lives
know
in
that.
Kingsport, one lives in Lisbon.
Well, I'm good, I didn't know that. They come see you for a
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know who that woman
They keep very
is.
close check on
We
it.
have to ask
Oh,
Chewie,
yeah.
though.
Keep an eye on it. Yeah.
Well, honey, I guess we better go.
You can stay for a few minutes. That's fine. You can
That old girl's bossy around.
Yeah.
You think that's right?
No, I know.
You
That
can
old
sit
girl's
and talk for a
bossing
few
you
minutes.
around.
Right now, relax.
Well, I'm getting all over the heck. We've been sitting here till three times. Just kind of old fun loving girl.
Yeah.
ain't you,
Always will be.
Yeah. Well, we gotta go, honey.
I'm so glad you stopped by.
Well, I'm glad I did too.
Now you see Rick.
There's Rick.
He's doing the
Probably,
tire.
I'm sure he's taking me. Well, Rick,
Doing the tire.
now we know where Rick was 20 years ago.
There
There's
you
the
go.
reunion. There's old William. Boy, William and Jonathan were so much younger.
So, and then James that went by.
Now, I'll point out this little guy, boy, right there, he knew Grandpa Eggers and Grandma Eggers. Yeah, he gave me his name and address and phone number. I don't know what I did with it. But he had a thing for Michelle, though. When he met Michelle, he just kept aggravating her, you know. And I tried to get Michelle to come to reunion. She wouldn't come. She stayed back at the motel. She said, I'll just stay back at the motel while you're there. And then he tried to come up when I went back to the motel, and Michelle says, I don't want him over here. He's flirty, you know. If it had been Corey, he'd have been flirting with Corey. I think he was a bit of a womanizer. There's Wayne. Now that was one of Grandpa's brother's son, Wayne. And I did know which one, but I can't think of him right now. Lawrence, maybe? Right there, he's a rascal. I mean, I liked him, he's a nice guy, but just flirty.
Got that teeth.
Michelle, she didn't want nothing to do with him.
Didn't let me chubby and butt. Look,
I was handsome, boy. Look at
chubby.
that
Look at
gut.
that stomach gut.
I weighed about 20 more pounds than I do now.
Jonathan right there, Will in the hat.
He's got a spider or something. I think that's Jonathan.
Yeah, that William Johnson sitting there.
Oh, there's Will in the red shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure wish I could hug Dad again.
And that teeth, man. On the
He
phone.
got in the picture.
Yeah.
He told me all about, you know, knowing Grandpa and Grandma Eggers, you know, that fella there. Can't remember his name, saved my life. Old Jimbo.
When he was younger.
You sit down, you ain't got no interest.
Show me this.
No, I don't show that.
I need to put that on tape. Is that James right there?
There's your van, Jordy.
Back
There's
then.
your van. You got beat off, boy, with your dad
Oh,
somewhere.
There's the van back then, man.
Yeah, that's it.
I got it
What year was
on
that
A-Lim.
van?
Look what Big D's doing. Even today, Big D's
88
taping.
or something.
Huh?
A-Lim.
88
I think it was 80.
Your own camera.
Yeah.
A-Lim. Watching the video. I won't video you.
Alright.
Doing a little video of this, and that's alright. To remember Grandpa. Because I hadn't seen him in a while.
Anthony, I think that's Jade.
That's James.
You ain't got no talent.
Old James had a good time, though.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody here.
Wayne told me how to get there, avoiding all the mountain and all that. That's the best way to come.
Yeah.
Your own camera.
In other words, I didn't have to go through Cumberland Gap and all that crap.
Yeah. 40, it went to 43, didn't it?
Think so.
Sunshine come out.
Nice road. I mean, it was great.
The sunshine come out.
A lot of them elderlies, you know, they told me, you know, introduce yourselves, and anytime you're here, if you want to stay with us, you know, they were nice, you know. I had a lot of invites to come and stay, you know, when I was on vacation. Well, I wish I could have, you know. I'd like to got to know some of them. And when I went to the Crabtree Free Will Baptist Church, there was a lady that said, I knew your mama, you know. Can't remember the name and stuff.
Now, all those people are 32.
What are they doing here, Will?
Oh yeah, 20 years, yeah, they're all dead.
Are you waiting for somebody there?
Wayne, he lived a little longer than Dad. Lived to be 90. So he died 10 years after this.
James.
Wayne and Dad, boy, they got along around good, didn't they? They was both. Dad was probably about 79 and Wayne was probably 80.
Kind of looks like how we did the concerts on our VHS.
Had good food, and then we finally go inside the building where, you know, that was in Elizabeth. Where you seen Dad and them, that was in Hampton. We stayed in a nearby motel. There, James. Dad, he knew a lot of them people.
Ooh, yeah. Wish I had a little tripod on this retaping, trying to recapture everything. There you go, Dad. Right on my video camera. That way we can play it back. We'll be on tape, but this will be on tape too.
I wish I'd have been able to find his phone number and stuff, you know. He's probably still living. It's hard to remember, you know, 20 years ago. I remember Aunt Sonia arriving.
That's all.
She'll arrive pretty soon.
Who's she with?
I think she's just by herself.
James back on.
His name tag there. It's like Dad, me, and James all had the same hat.
Oh,
Aunt Sonia will be showing up pretty soon. That I remember like yesterday.
yeah.
And she was very friendly with Dad and everybody, you know. She wasn't like had her nose up in the air, you know. She was real friendly. She was friendly to Dad. And Vic and Linda Hogan were there.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know why we ain't seen Linda or Vic. I think we will. See, that was the next day,
Yeah.
July 12th. It's almost noon.
Yeah.
That was a nice place there.
Yeah.
I could find that park again. And there's a big, nice building that you go in. You didn't go to that.
No, I didn't go to that. I'm not the person.
Wayne, he's a heck of a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was always a nice looking guy, you know. I remember him when he was a lot younger than that.
Oh, yeah.
We used to go in his store, you know, he'd give us fireworks and stuff. Especially me and Clarence, he'd always give us fireworks. So now you guys be careful with him. That looked like Linda in the red right there. Linda, she was heavy then.
Yeah.
How old was I in 2002, Dad? Was I about in 94, 2002?
Yeah.
He was just a young fella.
I was a young fellow in that year. I was a baby, basically. A little kid. No, too. That's when I was doing my VHS tapes on Nickelodeon 02.
There's a building.
How old are you, Jordy?
I'm 28.
He was 8 years old.
8 years old in 2002.
That's the building.
Yeah. Well, how come they didn't go in the building sooner?
Because we were having a picnic lunch.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they had a bunch of catered in food. It was good.
14 minutes
They'll
up
see,
there.
they'll be eating. We'll all be eating. I'd love to relive that. Of course, not with Michelle. I'd rather have Corey with me. Michelle, she didn't even go.
You didn't go at all, huh?
She just stayed back at the room. Michelle. She was with us. She just didn't come to the reunion. She felt out of place. She wanted to avoid that feller that kept bucking her, you know.
Sun's coming out.
Yeah, I might be able to work on my car a little bit, but I don't know though.
Sun is
15 minutes in it one on tape on this one. Figured I would kind of rehash some stuff for Dad, you know.
Yeah, it picks it up.
It picks it up good.
Really, I can't see.
Okay, I'm trying to retape it as best I can. Wish Dad come out and
Yeah,
hold
you
this
know,
phone.
Rick, he really videoed for a long time.
Making Rick look good now. It looks like you're there when you on the screen, on my screen.
It was nice that day, man. Peaceful. Couldn't ask for a nicer day. Now the sun's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that. 20 freaking years ago,
This summer's coming
I was
up,
only like 40 something.
right there.
No problem.
Ain't that Ansonia?
That's
right
what
there?
I remember
There's
when I was a kid.
Sonia right there.
Yeah.
Who's Rick?
One
Huh?
Who's the other girl?
I don't know.
I don't know, it's that Ansonia is right there.
First one that she hugged was James.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonia was sweet. You know. I think, you know, Aunt Sonia knew him. I talked to him quite a bit, but you know, it's 20 years ago. So. Yeah. Yeah, he knew. Aunt Sonia knew him and he knew her. So I think he stayed with Grandma and Grandpa Eggers for a while.
Where did he work at?
I don't remember. Can't remember, man. We wanted to stay in touch, you know, and we just didn't. But he was a relation to us somehow.
%, Dad. Recorded. This is a video camera on my phone.
I remember that little boy right there.
You talked to Wayne?
Huh?
You talked to Wayne? Somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Talking to him right now. She really enjoyed my sons, you know. Heck, she lived to be 85.
Yeah. Yeah, she had an operation.
She wouldn't have had that operation. She probably would have been around a long time. Might have outlived Dad.
Yeah, Gloria outlived Dad.
Huh?
Gloria outlived Dad. Yeah, we went to her funeral, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, Gloria outlived Dad, I think. Yeah.
Gloria was really sweet. Like a sweet
He was
lady.
a nurse.
Yeah. And her daughter was really neat.
Oh, yeah, I love her.
What was her name?
There was Steve, Susie. Susie passed away. And I can't think of her name right now.
She's a nurse too.
I got her on my phone.
She's a nurse.
There's the food.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he kind of reminds me of James. He's about James's size, you know.
James didn't have nothing to do with it, did he?
Yeah, James talked to him.
Yeah.
You know, Rick couldn't video everything going on. I just wish Dad would have stayed in touch with Gloria and, you know. You remember Aunt Patsy,
Yeah, I remember.
Grandma's sister,
Yeah.
lived in Lincoln Park? We used to go see her.
Candy and all.
Yeah. Aunt Patsy was a good lady. I really loved her.
Saw me going to the store. I'm coming here. Nobody come here, boy. Be quiet.
Royce, all right, buddy. You little protector. Come here, little protector. They're gone now, Royce.
You see somebody's coming at the
They're
door.
gone. Come here, boo-boo.
Come here.
Yeah.
Don't be at the door.
Here, Daddy.
Come here.
Rocky. Come here, little booger. God, he can get around me. More energy in a bucket of all good. You'll see old Dad chowing down.
Yeah, you must have found out.
Yeah.
It was 25 minutes.
Where's food? He'll be around.
See, Aunt Sonia knew a lot of them folks.
Yeah.
They're talking and somebody had to say prayers.
Grandpa had black hair when he was 50. 50 years old. What do you look like at 50, man? Grandpa.
You know,
At 50 years
a
old.
lot more hair.
When he was 50, yeah, because he was that was when he was a lot younger. I just couldn't remember. I don't think I seen him at 50.
No, you wouldn't have seen him.
Wasn't
He
born
wasn't
yet.
born yet.
I seen him. I seen him kind of young. I mean, he wasn't that old of a guy back then to me. No, it was too old, in my opinion. My grandfather.
What's up? Yeah, I'm gonna make some copies for everybody. 3 or less of them.
I only got a copy because this was Dad's copy. They never gave me a copy.
Yeah.
This is Dad's VHS that it was his, yeah. No, cheers now, man. Couldn't take it
Who
with
took
me.
it? Oh, Rick took it.
Rick took it. And then I'm like taping it for you,
If
Dad.
Trudy had have found this tape, she'd have took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's James,
Boys,
I
come
think.
on. There's old Johnny. He got a whole head of hair there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Will. Will still even looks the same today to me.
Oh yeah.
Will just still looks like that to me.
Put everybody in there at the same time.
I know, but don't make the film, there's gonna be more people.
Will looks like I remember.
I know, but you don't have to do all this, just, you know,
James is taking
Everybody
pictures.
wants copies of it.
they said that,
What?
gotta give us your address.
No, just give them to you.
No, they gotta give us their address if they want a copy.
There's a registry over there.
Yeah.
Who's she talking to?
I don't
Grandpa.
know.
She was talking to Rick about the copies of the tape for people.
I thought we was gonna be eating by now, but